What is going on, everybody, and welcome here today to my second NBA Q&A video on the channel. We did do one last week. I titled it, I think, what did the Cavs do after LeBron? What would if Kobe been traded? And I think the new Warriors dynasty that could be happening in the NBA. If you didn't miss that, that was in last week's video. You can go check that out on my channel. And yeah, we are here with our second weekly Q&A that I do ask you guys on Twitter. Any NBA questions you want to ask me, and I will be putting them in a video. And here we are with the second one today. First question comes in from Ramiz Sid. I probably butchered your name. I'm sorry. He goes, who's the best player in the Eastern Conference now that LeBron is gone? It should be, everybody should be able to say the same person, Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you don't say that, you're probably a Celtics or a Sixers fan, which I could see why. You could either say Kyrie Irving or Joel Embiid, who I think are the second and third best players in the conference. But I think Giannis is the clear best player in the conference, and I don't really think there's a debate for this one, unless you're Skip Bayless and you just say stuff for ratings, which I guess is smart. But yeah, I think it's Giannis. I don't think there's any debate about this, and yeah, Giannis is my pick here. Tanner Villeli X, rather have on your team Russell Westbrook or Kyrie Irving. It's tough. If we're going to, like, I'll probably answer this in two parts. Actually, I don't know. If you're going to say contracts as well, so we have Kyrie's, what, $20-something million contract, $19 million, whatever he's making, and then you have Westbrook's $40-something million, or $30-something million contract. Honestly, even contracts aside, I think I'm going to take Kyrie Irving. I think Russell Westbrook's the better player, the better point guard, and yes. But I think on my team, I'd rather have Kyrie Irving. We've kind of seen what Russell Westbrook has been, how he's literally had James Harden as a teammate, Kevin Durant as a teammate, Paul George as a teammate, and they really haven't done much. Really haven't done much. I mean, we haven't really seen a full year. Like, Kyrie's full years without LeBron have been bad in Cleveland, have been bad. This was his first year without LeBron, and we didn't even really get to see what he could have done in the playoffs. I think Russell Westbrook is the better player, but I'd rather have Kyrie Irving on my team. Justin Hughes X, if the Pistons don't go to the playoffs this year with what the East is looking like right now, what should they do? So, say the Pistons just have the most disappointing season probably in the Eastern Conference by not making the playoffs. I think they got to look to trade one of their front court players, and given that they just got Blake Griffin, I think they should look to trade Andre Drummond. I don't know how many years are left on Reggie Jackson, either it's 1 or 2. I don't think they have the assets to go after Kemba Walker, and in order to get Kemba Walker, they're paying John Moore too much money, Reggie Jackson too much money, Ish Smith too much money. Off the top of my head, Stanley Johnson's contract, I believe he's a restricted free agent this year. I don't think they're going to pick up his option or even give him the qualifying offer. I think they should look to trade Drummond and Griffin for a lottery pick. Try to get 2 lottery picks then if they don't make the playoffs, and you just rebuild through there. You're going to have to trade one of your front court members just because they're making too much money and you don't have enough assets. Or just, if you had a lottery pick this year and say you could have added Michael Porter Jr. to this team, with Reggie Jackson maybe coming up in free agency, and you could have maybe gone after like Eric Bledsoe or something like that. That would have been nice. But yeah, the Blake Griffin trade really messed you guys up. Legoat James X, how can the Warriors be thrown this season? No injuries count either. Now, there is actually a small chance that I was thinking that they could just be completely just... Because okay, we can look at this one as a 2K perspective, where if you have usually like 3 stars, and then you have 2 like complement players to those 3 stars, you'll do better than having 5 stars, and they don't know how well they play with each other. Now, the only way I can see the Warriors being dethroned this season is if DeMarcus Cousins causes some problems in the locker room, and that's it. But I think they're going to put all their egos aside like they have been, and I think they're going to be fine. I don't really think there's any way the Warriors don't win less than 67 games, and they don't win the finals, but... the only way I say they get dethroned is if it's a locker room problem. If you say no injuries aside, yeah, it's got to be a locker room problem with Cousins, but the odds of that happening aren't big, so just be prepared for a Warriors 4th title in 5 years. David NX, what do you think the Portland Trailblazers, or what do you think of the Portland Trailblazers' future? Like, are Dame and CJ staying, moving them to rookies? Your opinion. So, what I think Portland should do, I said this before, I think they should have called up Cleveland, and they should have tried to do trade for the 8th pick, giving up maybe Shabazz Napier or just CJ McCollum, basically. That's what I said. In order to maybe want to keep LeBron, I think they should have done that. Maybe you could have called up the Clippers, tried to have traded, I wouldn't say Lillard for the 12th. No. Maybe McCollum for the 12th and 13th pick. Maybe they would have done that. Honestly, I don't know. But I think you should have traded one of them for a lottery pick. I think you should still do so. Maybe try to work out the trade as the Clippers just got for Blake Griffin. Would a team give you a first-round pick and a good player like Tobias Harris? I don't know what team would be interested in getting CJ McCollum. I would say maybe like Atlanta, but I don't think Atlanta's willing to part with Taurean Prince or John Collins, and then you can maybe take that Mavericks pick. Maybe that could be something, because CJ McCollum is from Ohio, I believe. Isn't Damian Lillard? No, he's not from Ohio. I think he's from Oregon. Or no, Weber, California. Is that where Weber State is? I don't know, but I think they should move one of the 2 players, just because right now they're both entering their primes, if not already in it. I think McCollum's, like, he's on the younger side of Lillard. Actually, no, I think they're both like 25, 26, around that age. I don't know their correct ages. I don't think they're in their primes yet. But you look at the other team in their division, the Golden State Warriors, they're never getting past them while they have their squad they have now. I'm sorry, but they're not, and we just have to be realistic here. You can't hope for the best. It's not going to happen. So I've been saying this for Toronto. I say this for Portland. I say this for a couple teams. Trade your stars for future assets now, and be good in 3 years from now. Be good in 4 years from now. Don't be good right now. Honestly, as a Knicks fan, it sucks being where we are right now, and watching them lose for pretty much the 11 years I've been watching them, 12 years I've been watching them, besides a couple years here and there. But honestly, I'm happy that they're bad right now, and they're not bad in 3 years from now when the Warriors aren't good anymore, and when LeBron is not going to be at his best play, or he's going to be out of the league in 3, 4, 5 years, probably 4, 5, 6 years. But I'd rather us be good in that timetable. I'd rather our players be hitting their start of their prime then than our start of our prime now, and I'd rather be bad now, because even if the Knicks were good now, say the Knicks were as good as maybe the Pacers, or they were even as good as the, say we're in a completely different universe and they're as good as the Celtics or the Sixers, I still wouldn't even be content, because you're not going to get past the Warriors, and it sucks. I mean, I think the Celtics have the best shot at getting past the Warriors if everybody's healthy. I think they would have a better shot over the Lakers and the Rockets, but we'll see this year. And yeah, I think that Portland should definitely try to move on from one of their 2 star backcourt players. I'd obviously rather keep Lillard, and then you can try to build around maybe people you can get from McCollum. I would honestly try to trade Nurkic as well, but I don't know who would want Nurkic, and I would try to build also around Zach Collins as well. Leo Xavier X, how do you think the NBA can fix the cap free agency to balance the competition of the league? So I don't think it's got to be something with the cap or free agency. I mean, I think they can't do anything for free agency. Everybody's complaining about Cousins going to the Warriors, but then they bring up the Chris Paul not getting traded to the Lakers. It's 2 completely different scenarios. One was a trade, and the Hornets were owned by an NBA team, so they weren't going to have this team just be complete, or the Pelicans now, completely trash, while another NBA team prospers when the Hornets aren't going to make the NBA any money. And it was a trade, so they could veto a trade. That has happened before. They could veto a trade. You can't veto a free agency signing. If there was something in the CBA or whatever, the NBA's Players Association, whatever their agreement is, that the NBA can veto it, yes, they could, but there is nothing in there, and in that whatever agreement, it says, as you're a free agent, as long as the team has the salary cap to sign you, whatever you want, you can go to whatever team you want. It's free agency. It's been a thing for, 60 years, 50, 40 years. They can't really just veto it now one team is just superior than everything else. So I think what they could do is, they could lower the salary cap. I wouldn't mind them lowering it 10 or so million. Why not? And that would probably force the Warriors to break up. I would say that maybe the luxury tax, you would lower that. So, like, if they go completely over the luxury tax for a player, they can't, and they would have to leave that player or trade that player. That could be interesting. Also, what I think they should do is, I think it's time they add 2 expansion teams. I think they should add 2 expansion teams in the Eastern Conference, or one in the East, one in the West, and then they go out and, yeah, they could spread the players around. People can be good. Yeah, so a team in the Eastern Conference, team in the Western Conference, preferably like Seattle would be cool, and then Pittsburgh or Kansas City or some Louisville would be cool. And you spread out the good players in the league. There's too many good players for not enough teams. Honestly, like, the NBA produces so much good talent every year, and then there's so many players that could change the game. One player could change the game. In the NFL, in the MLB, in soccer, in hockey, one player can't really win a team a title. It's really not. Like, you need a full team collaborative effort. You look at the Cavs this year with LeBron James, and you could fully say that one player can determine a team's success. And I think that there's too many good players in the league for not enough teams, and that they should add expansion teams in this league. And I think that would shake things up and stretch out the competitive balance, and also lowering the salary cap I think would be interesting as well. Jeremy Fishburger X, are you watching the Summer League, and what are your thoughts so far? So I did catch the Grizzlies-Hawks game, and most of the Kings-Lakers game, and obviously the big standout from the first day of the Summer League was Jaren Jackson Jr. He was a stud. I don't know, what do you have, like 8'3", something like that. The man didn't miss, and he's a good defender at a power forward center position. He's looking like a small-time guy to start off. Trae Young struggled in his first game. I don't think of it too much. It's just his first game. Obviously, there's pregame jitters and stuff like that. I'm not going to judge him by that game. Mo Wagner looked really good in that game, and their game with the Kings. He looked pretty solid on defense. And De'Aaron Fox looked pretty good, and Marvin Bagley looked pretty solid. JX, what were the least and most shocking signings in your opinion? So I think the least shocking signing was definitely DeAndre Jordan. Once he opted out of his player option, it was kind of inevitable that he was going to go to the Dallas Mavericks. So I think that was probably the least shocking signing in my eyes. And then I think the most shocking, there's 2. One being LeBron James to the Lakers. I really didn't think he was going to go to the Lakers. Like, I just, like, felt like the Lakers was too good to be true. I don't know if too good to be true, but just it was like, I didn't think he was going to go to LA. I just never thought LeBron James would be playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, but here we are today, and he's playing for the LA Lakers. And DeMarcus Cousins, obviously, to the Warriors for obvious reasons. Nobody thought he was going to take a $30 million pay cut or whatever he was going to take as a pay cut, and he was going to join the best team in the league. But yeah, I think LeBron and Cousins are the two most surprising shockings in my opinion, and the DeAndre Jordan is probably the least shocking one. MCU Modder X, how do you feel about Minnesota? What are their chances in the West? I still think they can make the playoffs again this year. I mean, you have obviously Golden State. The Lakers are going to be a new playoff team this year. You still have Houston, OKC. I would say there's 4 guaranteed playoff teams. I still think San Antonio is going to find a way to make it. That's 5. And then you have 6, 7, and 8, and you have a good match, and probably Jazz is 6. I think those are good. And then you have like 7. I mean, I wouldn't say the Spurs are definite. So I would say the Jazz, Thunder, Warriors, Rockets, Lakers. But yeah, I think the 5 main ones are going to be the ones I just mentioned. Jazz, Rockets, Thunder, Lakers, Warriors. So that's 5 I think are guaranteed making the playoffs this year. And I think 6, 7, and 8 have to be between San Antonio, Portland, Minnesota, Denver. I don't see LA making it or Dallas making it, but I think those are the 4. Maybe Memphis can come back this year. Actually, Memphis could be a playoff team again this year, but we'll see. I think Minnesota can make the playoffs still. I think they should definitely try to trade Andrew Wiggins. I always thought that it would have been a good try to trade him to Orlando, do a sign and trade him for Aaron Gordon, but not a lot of people want his contract. You can maybe try to move him to like Brooklyn. They'll maybe take a chance on him, or even like Atlanta. I don't know how good of a player you're going to get back, but I don't know. I think they got to make Jimmy Butler happy. You have to re-sign Jimmy Butler in the offseason. I think you can roll with Jimmy Butler and Towns. I think the Teague signing was so stupid. I said at the time then. I still think it was a stupid signing now. Don't know why they did it. Honestly, I'd rather have Tyus Jones for $3 million a year than Jeff Teague for $18 million a year, whatever he's getting paid near that much. And yeah, I think that their chances are good. They just gotta get their locker room is not good. I think they should have fired Thibodeau this year. I think there was too many problems for them even making the playoffs. There was just too many locker room stuff. They could have went after Dwayne Casey or Mike Budenholzer or somebody like that. But yeah, I think that they can make the playoffs. They just have to fix some stuff in their locker room. And I think they should explore trading Andrew Wiggins. You don't explore trading Towns. You lose Butler over you lose Towns. You need to keep Towns. But yeah, I would try to move Wiggins. So now Ben Riviera, or Rivera X. Matt, I'm a diehard Clippers fan. And I want to know your honest opinion on, will the Clippers trade for Kawhi, yes or no, and why? Thanks. So I think that the Clippers, I don't know exactly what they're going to do, because I mentioned this in, I think, my rebuild on the Cousins video, or I think I did my talk video about Cousins signing with the Warriors. The Lakers aren't winning it all this year. We know who's winning it all this year. So I think that the Lakers realize there's no point in trading for Kawhi and giving up Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart and a first-round pick for Kawhi when you're not even going to win it this year, and he's a free agent next year. So I think they're done trading. I don't think they're going to trade for him at all. So this means now, I know there was a report that Kawhi's never going to play another game as a Spur again. And if that's the case, they have to trade him. So I personally, if I'm the Clippers, I don't trade for Kawhi, and you go for him hard next offseason. You go hard for him next offseason. You keep your core of Tobias, Jerome Robinson, and Shai Gilgeous. You develop those 3 players that are your future right there. And then you could clear up cap space. I like the Avery Bradley signing in Lou Will, but they do have a lot of guards there with Beverly, Gilgeous, Lou Will, Bradley, and Jerome Robinson. I think they got rid of Teodosic, and obviously the Austin Rivers trade. They do have 5 guards I think deserve playing time, and I think honestly those 5 guards, they don't even need to touch the backcourt. I think they can set their backcourt for the future. They could set their stretch 4 power forward in Tobias Harris. They got to find that small forward. Could be Kawhi next offseason. That would make it really scary. And if they can get that rim protector, if they could somehow move Boban's contract, and I know Tobias is also a free agent next year. I don't know if they have the chance to go after 2 max deals, but honestly, if I'm them, you go after Kawhi. Say, I don't trade for him now. You go after him next year, and then you see if you can get him. If not, then you can go after some of these other centers like a Marc Gasol or maybe like a Kemba Walker, and you could bump people down. Like maybe Jimmy Butler's not going to come to the Clippers, but I'm saying like people like that you could try to go after. Maybe even throw a deal at Whiteside, get that rim protector, and then try to look at a small forward if you guys aren't going to make the playoffs in a really contended, really hard West, a competitive West. And then you can use that lottery pick to go after a forward, because there's a couple good ones in this draft, like a Nasir Little, RJ Barrett, a Romeo Langford, a Zion Williamson. I don't know if they're going to fall to where the Clippers are going to be this year, because I think they're going to be a pretty solid team. But yeah, I think that the Clippers should not trade for Kawhi and try to go for him in free agency next year. Okay, so this is going to be the final question. It's by Level Up Super Saiyan. Predict the West seeding 1 to 8. I'm also going to do both conferences. I'm just going to rattle these off the top of my head. I have not put actually like a full thought into this. I'm going to do that way before the season starts, after like the preseason, and right before the season starts, I'll do my season predictions and my award predictions. But just to rattle off the top of my head, we'll start with the West, then we'll go to the East. So obviously the 1 seed, I think it's going to be the Golden State Warriors, no surprise there. 2 seed, I actually think it's just still going to be the Houston Rockets. I don't think they're going to be surpassed by the Lakers yet. 3 seed, I think it's going to be the Lakers with LeBron James. There's no way they're below a 4 seed again. And I think, like, people say the Lakers are the Cavs of the West. I still think this team is a little bit better than the Cavs team. I don't think they're much better, but I think they're still a little bit better. They got a decent veterans. They don't really have... The best shooter around LeBron James is Kyle Kuzma. That's a scary thing. I mean, Kyle Kuzma is a solid shooter for what he is, but I don't know about that. They literally signed Lance Stevenson. I mean, KCP can shoot, but not at a high efficiency. He can probably shoot the same as Josh Hart can. So I would say the Lakers are going to be the 3 seed. Thunder are going to be the 4 seed. Jazz are going to be the 5 seed. Portland is going to be the 6 seed. Denver is going to be the 7 seed. And I say, I don't know, it's between Minnesota, Memphis, San Antonio here for this last seed. The Pelicans, too. It's going to be tough. But I think that the Pelicans are going to get the 8th seed. And that means Minnesota, Memphis, and San Antonio are going to miss out. The West is going to be super competitive this year. Super competitive. And if we move over to the Eastern Conference, I'm going to go 1 seed Boston Celtics. I'm going to go 2 seed Toronto Raptors. That might be surprising. But I think the Raptors are going to still be pretty solid this year. 2 seed Raptors. 3 seed Philadelphia. 4 seed Indiana. 5 seed Milwaukee. But I could see Milwaukee... Actually, no, I'm gonna put Milwaukee at the 4 seed, Indiana at the 5 seed. Now, there's not many teams left here that are just really good in the Eastern Conference. 6, I think Miami could be the 6th seed. No, 6th seed is gonna be Washington. Washington with the 6th seed. 7th seed, this is tough. 7th seed, I gotta think about this. 7th seed, okay, I think it's gonna be the Detroit Pistons. And then for the 8th seed, it's gonna, oh my god, it's gonna be between the Cavs, Hornets, Knicks, Nets, Bulls, Magic, and Hawks. Like, one of those teams has to make the playoffs. If I had to pick a team, I want to say Chicago. I could see Brooklyn. I don't think it's gonna be the Knicks, Magic, or Hawks. Hornets. You know what? Yeah. If they don't trade Kemba, we're going to go Hornets as the 8th seed. And yeah, that's how it's going to be. So, the West is just going to be so much more competitive than the East. I mean, the East can still be competitive. It's just the West are going to have so many better teams. So yeah, that's going to end it for my second weekly Q&A. If you want to be featured in the 3rd week, go follow my Twitter. Link in the description. I'll be tweeting it out about next week when you can answer or reply to the tweet asking for the questions. Thank you to everybody that replied to the tweet. I read through all of them, and I appreciate everybody's reply. Like, I've seen everybody that replied, and I thank you. I just obviously couldn't answer 180 questions in one video. That would have been very tough. And yeah, I appreciate all the ones that I did answer. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you guys do enjoy these type of videos. I like to do these NBA type talk videos, so can we maybe get like over 800 likes for week 3? And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Subscribe if you're new. We do all type of NBA content on the channel. I know we might have gotten new subscribers lately through free agency. It's been a pretty interesting time period, and we got a lot of new subscribers. So hey, welcome. Hope you guys enjoy your stay. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.